Hey, it's Kenny with Helicopter Land Ground School. On my trip home back to Indiana, I'm out in the middle of nowhere in southern Indiana, coming back from Kentucky. Spent 3 days at Madison Community College down in Kentucky. And I wanted to stop somewhere along the way home in a laid back environment, just like the laid back environment down there. And what I want to talk about real quick, while it's on my mind, is how this college is using HOGS as a legitimate part of their course curriculum, their testing for the course, time for college credits. It was really amazing. And that was the last thing I did before leaving Kentucky was Rhonda, who is in charge of taking care of all the student record keeping. She devised everything, and I was blown away when she showed it to me. And just to show how HOGS is now being used 10 years later, after the small, tiny little site that I built back in the beginning, now with the quizzes for each lesson, so we're going to use Private Pilot, for example. They are using our courses in the private course, commercial, instrument, and certified flight instructor. So they're using all these courses for their students. And for the private rating example, she took me right in there and showed me how she has access to all the students' memberships because she put them in under a college email. So she has access. She goes in and checks all students' each lesson. There's 18 lessons in Private Pilot, and each lesson has multiple videos under that lesson. After they complete that, like say lesson 1, they take a quiz. So she goes in and goes to each lesson and checks their score after they've completed, and they give them assignments. They say, okay, this week your flying is going to be this. You need to complete this lesson inside HOGS. So she gives them a date that they have to have it completed by. So they have to go in, view the videos, get to the quiz, and then she can see their score. And she said they started using HOGS last year, and they switched from another company, that flight training software, and she didn't like the way it was set up. It wasn't user-friendly, and it wasn't helicopter specific. It was one of those courses with airplane course with helicopter stuff tacked on. And they said it just wasn't working for us. And that's when they found HOGS. So they started using it last year. Now this year, the semester they're in is the first time they have a full-fledged, all HOGS courses. And she showed me how she gives them dates for each lesson. She goes in and tracks the score for each lesson. And then at the end of this semester, they will take the written test practice that is already set up for FAA Wings credit. We've had that set up for several years now. So they're using that for the test at the very end to make sure that they can complete 70% higher, the same as the FAA written test. So she goes in, tracks all their progress, and then that goes into their permanent record inside their tracking for their students' permanent college record. And they have another set of software coming up soon that they'll actually have the flight training part and the ground school part in the same software. Right now they're tracking it separately. The flight training's in one certain software, and they're using different software for the ground training, and eventually they'll have it all into one. So I'm just had to stop and tell the story because it's really neat how they've taken something that we built from scratch over 10 years ago, and how, they noticed, they said, from a year ago, you guys have made huge progress. And when I was talking to Brian Rutledge, our operations manager, he's like, yeah, well, we've updated 42 new videos in the Private Pilot in the last year. And what's neat is they know that at the college, the instructor and the people, the directors working with the course are like, oh, we know. We've seen what you guys have done in a year. And they really appreciate all the updated content. And their instructor goes into HOGS, and she is, again, assigning whichever lesson is appropriate for the flight training that they're doing. So it's just a note on how far HOGS has come, and it meant a lot to me. And Brian, our operations manager, he's in California. I should have forced him to come out this week and join me in Kentucky, but because I know just what I told him about the way that they're using our training right in the curriculum, he was blown away because he's like me. He loves training, and he loves record keeping and all this stuff. And I know that he would have been super thrilled to see this firsthand. But there'll be more to come. Again, we'll have a video coming out soon. I have a 23-minute video that we're editing up now when I sat down with Todd Smith, the Director of Aviation Programs, and we sat and talked about all the reasons how attending a community college for your flight training, airplanes or helicopters, can be very beneficial to you because you're going to get a college degree out of it, and then that opens up more doors for you in the aviation field. Yes, you'll be a rated pilot, but because you'll have a degree, you can take that and go so many different directions in aviation, whether it's, working at a college or it's working at any type of a business that's in the aviation industry. Having that degree opens up so many doors versus the way I did it, where I just went Part 61, local flight school, did all my ratings, studied mainly on my own, did a little ground with an instructor. I became a pilot, but didn't give me any kind of a degree. So for those of you that are thinking about it, I totally see the benefits to attending a college to get your aviation training. And again, that video will be out soon. Hopefully within a couple of days, we'll have that up. Or again, where I sat down with the director of aviation programs. And ending note real quick, I want to get back on the road. There'll be quite a few stories that'll come out of my 3 days down there at Kentucky. What a wonderful community. The college is so laid back, and we're going to talk about that in the upcoming video. It's a conducive area for learning because they have lots of classroom space. They have their airports are out in more of a rural area where you have lots of room and you're not crowded in, and it's a less stressful environment. And the college, the community, the whole area is just such a laid back environment that is really conducive to learning. And I gave Brian a sneak peek of the video, and he was like, dude, I want to sign up. I'm ready to go down there. He was that impressed with the video. So we'll have that up for you in the next couple days. So I'm Kenny Keller, creator of Helicopter Land Ground School. If you're interested in any of our memberships, go down below, helicopterground.com, and also put a phone number down there for Heather, who answers our HOGS phone 7 days a week. You can text or call her at 574-767-1797. And stay tuned for some more new content because I learned a lot. I got invited down there to see how they were using our program. I didn't have any idea I was going to go down there and learn so much. And the big one, there's 3 big ones: maintenance, maintenance, maintenance. Anybody that knows or watches our videos knows I was frustrated in the recent past over some maintenance issues with some aircraft we were using. So I have some insight on a better way and how things should operate. And the director that I sat down with has many, many, many years in the aviation, in the helicopter industry, and he's worked at some really big flight schools and some small flight schools. So he has a lot of insight, things that I learned that I never thought of, and the way he explained them to me gives me a different view of how maintenance needs to happen, and how putting some theory behind how you're going to handle that maintenance made a lot of sense to me. So we're going to have some videos on that coming up. So thanks for tuning in. Any questions, HOGS is down below, or put your questions down below as well below the video if you like. Reach out to Heather or go direct to our website down below. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in the next video. Peace out.